couple months ago, my agent said that they were starting submissions for the Pan Am and the Parapan Am games that are going to be held in Toronto this summer. So, of course, we started the submission with all the regular things, my reel and resume and an interest letter, and had a few interviews and meetings, and then about 3.5 weeks ago, the position was awarded to me.
So your initial thoughts?
Grateful, extremely grateful, gratitude immensely. It's such a huge event. And also, there were a couple positions open, and I was awarded to be head choreographer for the Parapan Am opening and closing ceremonies. And that especially really tugged at my heartstrings because, the obvious Paralympic reasons, the triumph over adversity really gives me a lot to work with as a creator and as an entertainer, to go into the opening ceremonies conceptually and creatively.
So on your resume, would this be the biggest thing on there so far?
Well, it's definitely the biggest global opportunity I've had to date. Absolutely. I mean, we're talking, I think, about 18 countries and 2,000 athletes. So it's really a big deal. And anytime that, a bunch of people from different countries come together in such a peaceful event like this, it's, it's monumentary.
So how do you approach something this big with, just 6-7 months away, or not even that?
With a great team. I mean, there's one team that is Toronto TO15 team that is organizing the Pan Am and the Parapan games. So it's a huge undertaking, and there's a lot of us and a lot of meetings, and you just day by day, and a great team and organization is key. And we just plod forward, and we've got a good early start. And we just this past weekend auditioned over 400 dancers, so the interest was huge and the talent was amazing. So now we're just going into creative meetings, really honing down the exact creative that we want to do, and moving forward from there.
In addition to the choreography, though, there's also the visual aspect of things, the music. How do you coordinate all of that?
Well, the director of both the Pan Am closing ceremonies and the Parapan opening ceremonies is Paul Becker, and him and I have been speaking, here and there for the last 3 weeks, just tossing ideas back and forth, also with the committee that, the Toronto, the TO 2015 committee. So you're right, it's so much more than just choreography and staging. It's conceptualizing, and it's conceptualizing things that will globally attract all the athletes and, really inspire them. It's the opening ceremony. So that is the biggest thing I know when I produced and directed the International Children's Games opening ceremonies here. I felt that my biggest job was to inspire these athletes and really, get them started on the right foot.
So what do you have to do from now until the summer then? Give me kind of your checklist of items.
Well, we have to lock down the concept and the creative, and then from there we have to start building and choreographing and locking down all the music. We have to figure out all of the different ethnic groups that we're working with and probably meet with them on different occasions and then bring them all together collectively. There'll be about 25 to 30 core dancers in a main company that I'll be working with as like a skeleton crew, and then there'll be up to 150 volunteer dancers that will also participate, and then we'll go into casting that and finalizing who all those people are, registering them, and then we'll finally start to kick off rehearsals at the beginning of July, which really isn't a lot of time when you consider the opening ceremonies are August 7th, but yeah, we'll start rehearsing. We'll about 3-week rehearsal period, and then we'll move into the staging on the field, and take it from there.
Sounds exhausting.
It can be, but it's day by day, and it's a process that we're all used to, and there's amazing people being brought together, because they are great at their craft. So it's an opportunity to work with the best in the biz.
And so you'll be spending a lot of time in Toronto then in the next several months.
Here and there. I'll be back and forth with meetings, but probably from about July 1st on, I'll be in Toronto all the way through the closing ceremonies of the Parapan Am Games.
Sounds great. Anything else you want to add about this?
Just that it was beautiful to see dancers from all over Southern Ontario, not just Toronto, but also we have a huge industry of beautiful dancers here in Windsor, and there were a few local faces there. So it makes me really proud being Windsor-born, the talent that exists here locally. And I'm happy to say there'll be a few of those faces representing Windsor ethics on the world stage in Toronto this summer.